I know we are late again, and I'm really, really sorry. We were just discussing pubs in Bolton for some reason. Good evening. Welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of the Sunday Bunch. Tonight with us, we have Dino. Dino, have you had a good day?
Just normal, quiet Sunday, mate.
Have you had a Sunday dinner?
I actually haven't, to be fair. I actually haven't.
You've had
Sunday
dinner, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had dinner, yeah.
Everyone has a dinner. Everyone has a dinner.
I haven't had a dinner. I don't get fed. We've been joined by the Mad Mistake as well. Terry, what's your day been like?
I'm absolutely shattered. I've been stripping the sitting room all day, so since from about 12:15 till about an hour ago. So I've had enough. I'm finished. I wasn't going to have a can today, but I think I'm going to deserve a can now for doing that bugger.
Fair enough. Stripping in the living room. And we've been joined by Jack Shields as well. Hello, Jack. You had a good day?
Yeah, very, very quiet. Nice and relaxing Sunday dinner. I've had a good, stodgy Sunday dinner and plenty of football on the telly, which is always gets my vote.
There you go. Right, just very quickly then. We are available via the live chat as we are live. So we will be giving you a shout out on there. If you want to take part, you got any topics you'd like to chuck in, we'll try and address those as well. Already I can see there, David Walker says the Beehive is the main one in Bolton, Philly. Emma Hansen, Beehive, best bet. That's the one we're talking about, actually. So, but anyway, on the chat there, Black Cat Podcast, David Walker, Dan Humphrey, Thane, or Tane, as Terry likes to call him, Mandy Gray is there as well, Robert Foster, Conrad Tank, Marion Travels, Mick Griffiths, and Tony Lee there as well, John T, all on the list. Don't forget, of course, tonight we are doing the draw for the prize who can join us on the bus and a ticket to Bolton. Terry, was you one in there?
Yeah, I was going to say, I hate pubs that get totally rammed, packed full of people and sweaty and COVID everywhere. I'd rather just stay on the bus, probably, and have a can on the bus. Is that okay?
Well, stop on the bus if you want. You'll be on your own. I'm going to.
I don't mind. I like my own company.
Oh, well, I suppose well, we'll see. We'll see when we get down there.
I'll stand outside the pub with a can. That's what I'll do.
Whatever. So the draw for the seat on the bus and the ticket to Bolton. There's 8 people in the draw. They are Tony Lee is in there. Emma Hansen is in there as well. Kevin Caden. The Black Cat Podcast. I've got a place in the hat. David Walker, Alan Rowland, Reese Lincoln, and P. Nelestino all in there. And we would have had Dawn Staveley as well, but she's not sent us the email to get her in, so she's missed out, unfortunately. Before we do start, I want to say a massive get well soon to Scott Cockton, who's having a little spell in hospital. Scott's helped us out a lot with our little trip to Bolton. So, Scott, if you're watching, get well soon, mate, and hope to see you at a match somewhere soon. Right, I want to start before we go on to the match. Of course, a 1-0 win against Portsmouth. Taffy Mackham made a comment on one of the on the channel today, and I just want to throw this around to you just very quickly. He said, "Yes or no? At the start of the season, would you have taken being second on the 23rd of January, 2022?" Jack Shields. Oh, I don't have to call you Jack Shields, do I, Jack?
Probably. I think given on our squad, I think our squad's more likely to be playoff. I know some people say we should be top of the league 100% of the time, but I probably would have. I think when you look at the games in hand, though, you know what I mean, if we were second and everyone had played the same games, I would be very, very confident. But the fact is we're playing more games than other teams, which slightly puts the league table in our favour. But I think, yeah, I probably would have.
Right, fair enough. Before I chuck it round again, I want to quickly on the chat, Rough as the Badges is on there as well. David Jones, a Bolton fan. Welcome to the channel, David. Looking forward to Saturday. We're looking forward to our trip down there as well. Terry, yes or no? Start the season, would you have taken being second as we are today?
A false second? No.
No.
Not with all those games in hand, other teams have got no.
Right,
If it was level games, I'd be happy, yes.
All right, okay. Dino, second place as we are now at the start of the season. Would you have taken that, yes or no?
Yes, because at the start of the season, I predicted we're not even to make the playoffs. I didn't think the squad was that good. So, yeah, 100%. I think this is the best position we've been in since we've been in this league. So, yeah, definitely.
All right, fair enough then. Yesterday then, Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0. The only time we ever hark back to predictions, because we all do predictions before the game, and we never ever mention them unless, of course, I get it spot on. So we're just going to quickly look at the predictions, and I predicted 1-0, and that's what it was. So overall performance then, Dino, what did you think?
It was one of them games, wasn't it? I mean, Portsmouth always come up and give her a battle. I thought the first 30 minutes, we were just under the cosh. We couldn't get our own half. They were passing it around really well. I really thought we were going to get beat after them first 30 minutes. I just didn't look. It didn't look like we had a chance. But what playing so dangerously, trying to pass out from the back. John Flanagan made a mistake where he tried to take on a player in his own box, nearly fell to their player. And I mean, it was either the manager or the players decided to stop trying to play out the back for a little bit and start going long, which I think worked in our favour. Whoever's decision that was, good on them, because they're seeing that playing out from the back wasn't working at the time. And the goal, I mean, I'm going to give some credit to Giorgio. I thought his running off the ball was outstanding. Some of the closing down he was doing was unbelievable. He had a chance where he took the ball off somebody and had a shot and said he should have probably passed it. And then the second chance we had where there was a couple of our forwards closing their man down, forced Curtis into the mistake. Embleton made the wrong decision again. He went for the shot. He had Giorgio running on his right side and he had two players on his left and he went for the shot. Just poor decision making, which probably could have got a goal. But again, for the goal, Giorgio closing down, makes the defender make a mistake. And Ross Stewart, with his first assist of the season apparently, lays off for Embleton, beautiful finish. And then the rest, I mean, second half, it was still sloppy, but I thought we were the better team in the second half. It was just getting a little bit sloppy. I thought making the substitutions at the 80th minute, I probably thought that was probably the right thing to do, because just because you make changes doesn't always mean that the team's going to be better. It was one of them games where a certain substitution might have either went for you or it could have made a mistake. So I thought it was well done on the substitutions. And overall, I mean, performance wasn't pretty, but you'll take a 1-0 against Portsmouth every day of the week.
Right, fair enough. This is the beauty of football. You can watch the same game. And we did the fan cam interviews after the match, and a few people were saying about Diaku, man of the match and things like that. I didn't think... I mean, we were talking about it. It says... My mate said, "Is this Diago playing like?" I says, "Well, he's on there, you know." And I didn't think I saw. I didn't see it myself, but
his off-ball running was incredible. I mean, in the 75th, 80th minute, or what, just before he got subbed off, I seen him close down 4 different players in a space of probably 15 seconds. He ran all the way across the pitch, all the way down the right side. Close a man down. His off-ball running was tremendous, especially when he first joined, where he made 2 sprints and he was out of breath. His fitness has come on loads, and he seems more like he's more of a team player. And I thought he was outstanding off the ball.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat as well. Michael Quinton says, hopefully Defoe coming very quickly. We are going to get on to that soon. DJ says, massive well done to Tommy for the commentary yesterday. Yes, thanks very much, Tommy. Superb on the commentary, as he did. David Walker says, Beehive will be jam-packed. There you go. That'll keep you happy, Terry. Jack, overall performance?
Well, it wasn't great. I thought overall in the 90 minutes it wasn't a very pretty game. I think most Sunderland fans watching that would have just been happy that we got the win. I think that's what it's all about. You know, if you are going to get automatic promotion, you need to be grinding wins out like that when it's a tough, scrappy game, not much in it. You need to make sure it goes your way, and that's what we did. I thought we were very poor first half until the goal, particularly as Dino touched on, the first 30, 35 minutes. It was all Portsmouth. They had all the ball. They were the team on the front foot. We were sort of playing like the away team, almost looking to try and break and counter-attack, which I was disappointed because I think when we got on the ball, we're much, much better when we're the team in the ascendancy. They didn't really create any chances, to be fair, luckily. And then the goal, we got the goal that seemed to knock the stuffing out of them, came in an excellent time, sort of in the 5-10 minute period before half time. And then second half, I thought we were a lot better. I thought we were the team that were, imposing ourselves on the game. Physically, we're stronger. I thought the two lads at the back, Danny Bart and Callum Doyle, had very, very good games against the Portsmouth team that like to mix it up. I like to put the foot in and get physical. And I thought I wasn't really, I know it's 1-0. You're always nervy at 1-0, particularly when it's Sunderland, but I was never really concerned about them scoring. I felt like second half, obviously we all wanted a second goal to make it nice and easy, but no, I was really, I thought we were comfortable. Second half, I didn't really felt a threaten, and saw the game out and got a good 3 points.
You're muted, Philly. You're muted.
Sorry about that. I just.
I think he was farting there. That's why he muted himself.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Some people, Robert Foster on the chat saying, people seem unduly worried about the games in hand. They've got to win them. Like we've said, we've been in that position before. Also, there was somebody mentioned about Danny Bart. You said there, Jack, as well. Somebody said signing of the season so far, he reckons. Terry, yesterday, 1-0 win against Portsmouth. Overall performance?
It was a bit like we normally do at home. First 10, 15 minutes, like we started poor. The away team was the better side. It was a bit like the Ipswich game as well, where I saw Ipswich dominated the majority of the first half, and I thought we were just never looked like scoring in the first half. I thought in the midfield, they were much stronger in the midfield in the first 30, 35 minutes. I thought it was a good understanding between Doyle and Bart. I thought them two had a really good partnership going, and I thought it's no coincidence we get a proper centre-back in, we keep a clean sheet. So I was quite happy with Bart's. I was watching Bart and Doyle in particular, and there's a lot of communication going on between those two. So I was very happy with that partnership. But like Dino said, Diaco did a lot of pressing towards probably the second half of the first half, and he's the one that sort of it was more like what Sunderland players were getting done to them against Rotherham, who were getting under pressure in defence, who were losing the ball. That's what their player did. Diaco got put their player under pressure. He lost the ball, but the pitch had a lot to do with that. The pitch was shocking. For that being a new pitch, that pitch is going to cost us in the future. I tell you what now, the pitch was absolutely diabolical. And I think that's one of the reasons why their player lost the ball with Diago, to be honest. So, yeah, they did well. We got the goal. I didn't even see the goal. I went for a pint. I thought, piss this, I'm going for a pint. I wanted to go to the toilet. I went to the toilet. Wincy bought us a pint. I thought, I'll watch the match. That's 5 minutes having a pint. And we scored, so I was absolutely over the moon. Second half just came to fly by. We seemed to never really become under any great threat or pressure in the second half, and we definitely were stronger in the second half. But it was a very boring match, wasn't it? A very poor, boring match. And like I say, I think Doyle and Bart were particularly good.
Right, fair enough. Different people chucking man of the match suggestions in there. A lot saying Bart for man of the match. Anyway, David Walker says Doyle for him. Tony Lee trying to stir it up a bit with was talking about Colin. Tony Lee, if you don't know who he is, by the way, that is him there. Check him out. Yes, that. He said, I hate that photo. He said, will you take a new one of me? So yesterday we took a new photo of him and he's Peaky Blinders
Jack
cap.
Colback
So
in the background, wasn't it?
Was that?
Jack Colback in the background, wasn't it, Colback?
Yeah. He doesn't look very happy either next to him, does he, Harry?
So your best friend, Phil. Is that your best friend?
Well, he's not my best friend, but he's you're
I've
my
known him
best
for years, and you've been friends for years and years and years, haven't you?
30 odd years, yes. Yeah. Why?
Just asking, that was all.
Right, okay. Right, well, your thoughts then on Danny Bart, the new signing came in there. Dino, how do you think he did?
I thought the first couple of minutes, first 50 minutes, I thought, to be fair, everyone was a bit sloppy in the first 15 to 20 minutes, but he grew into the game, made some good tackles. He looked quite confident on the ball. He didn't look like he was scared to receive it in tight areas. Yeah, I mean, he looks tall. He looks like he was organising as well. He looked like he was organising the back three. I mean, I'd love to see him in there with Bailey Wright on the right of him. I really do. I think if you drop Flanagan and put Bailey Wright in there, I think that's a really good defence. But yeah, very, very, very happy. It's not a signing I would normally go for, a 31, 32-year-old, but he's got good experience. He's played for Stoke, so I mean, if he keeps playing like that, I mean, you can't really grumble. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Not someone I'd go for, but if he helps the defence keep more clean sheets and he helps the back 3 or 4, happy days. Yeah, happy days.
Right, okay, Terry, Danny Bart. Then does he look like he's going to be a good signing?
Well, out of the 3 centre-backs yesterday, I thought Flanagan was probably the worst one. He sort of gave the ball away quite a bit. He just hoofed the ball up long. He's bad challenging. I just thought that there was a bit more of an understanding straight away between Doyle and Bart. I thought they were communicating well. And I thought it might have been even him who just thought, yes, we'll just get rid of it. Just get rid of the ball instead of passing it out too much. You know, he's a no-nonsense defender, and that's what we need. Very good height on him. Cleared a lot of balls away, and I just like I just like the way the communicating between Bart and Doyle was really good, and his leadership skills as well. That's what we need in defence, and leadership skills throughout the whole of the team going forward. And Lee Johnson's on about like making sure every team pulls the weight, and the leadership skills make they all communicate. But when you bring someone in that with like that bags and bags of experience of over 200 plus games in the Championship and a couple of promotions on the 2 different teams, and years and years at Wolverhampton Wanderers, so he brings all that knowledge to the side. And someone like Doyle, who's 18-year-old, would just lap it up, won't he? Simple as. And when you get Bailey right back in defence as well with his leadership skills, like Dano says, it could be a really good defence.
Yeah. Jack, Danny Bart, then looking good.
Yeah, it's only early days, isn't it? He's only made his debut, but I thought it was a very, very good, solid debut. I think it could turn out to be an excellent bit of transfer business in the transfer market. I think we've lacked a bit of physicality at the back. Perhaps, as Terry touched on, I'd agree with him, a leader at the back, someone to really organise it. And you saw him already. He was kind of telling when to push up and when to spread out and things like that. You can't put that into a player. A player either has that or he doesn't. I read up about him when we signed him, and I think he was a captain of his youth team. He's also captain Wolves. I think he was captain at Stoke for a while, so he's pretty much been a captain 2 or 3 times already. You can sense he's got that leadership and he's hugely experienced. But I think in terms of his biggest attribute is going to be his physicality. He just looks like strong. He looks an absolute unit. Someone put a photo of him on Twitter, and he just has shoulders like bare windows, as the expression goes. And he just looks really looks like someone who just love to defend. He'll put his head in. He'll tackle. He'll graft. He'll work hard. I think like you say, could turn out to be an excellent bit of business. It is only early days. He's only played 1 game, but it was a really good debut. And I thought him and Doyle really provided the platform in the second half. Like I say, I never really felt threatened by Portsmouth. I thought they had the spell in the first half, but when we got that goal, we just looked solid at the back, and it was nice to see a Sunderland team look relatively calm. I know it was only 1-0, but I thought we looked really solid at the back yesterday.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, Emma Hansen on the chat, and if I didn't know you better, Emma, I know your football knowledge is good anyway, but she says, did you see the size of the thighs on Bart? They're huge. Obviously, she was going to match to look at his legs. Also on there, John T says, Wright, Bart and Doyle, perfect. Yeah, I mean, Flanagan's been off for a few games now, and I mean, yesterday, he made some mistakes. He did another one. When will it have been? Must have been first half, because I think they were kicking that way, where not dissimilar to when he missed the ball against Accrington. He did it again. I mean, fortunately, nothing came of it. Just very quickly, we got over 200 people on the stream at the moment, 57 likes. So if you can just hit the thumbs up for us, if you would, please. We'd like to try and get to 100 if we can on a Sunday night. Just do that. Take a second to do that. And if you are watching and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It's absolutely free to do that, and it does help the channel out also. Right then, Michael Bowers always likes to go on about clean sheets. We got a clean sheet yesterday, which meant we won the game, obviously. Was the clean sheet then, do you think, down to our defence, or do you think it was down to Portsmouth, a woeful finishing? Because I thought they were dreadful, sort of in front of goal. Jack, do you want to kick us off on that?
I think maybe a bit of both. I haven't watched Portsmouth much, but the Portsmouth fan on Thursday night, he mentioned that they're a bit toothless up front, didn't he? I heard him mention a couple of times that, they're really struggling for goals, and they had a lot of the ball in that first 25 minutes, half an hour, but they didn't really create that many clear-cut openings, did they? Let's be honest, I can't remember Hoffman having to make a save. I can't remember us really being tested that much at the back. So I think it was a bit of both. But I think we are going to come against a team that, creates chances and more than Portsmouth did. But I think I would be a bit more confident if we get the likes of, Danny Barton in at centre-back. We'll get him playing regularly alongside like a Bailey Wright. We're not going to lose that physical battle that I think we've struggled with this season. I mean, you only need to look back to Wickham and the bullied us, I thought, a little bit, particularly from set pieces. So we're going to win the physical battle. And then a lot of the games at this level, I think once you win possession, you can build from there. But our problem is we tend to lose a lot of 50-50s physically. So I think we'll be better in that aspect. So I think a bit of both, really. We look more solid, but they were a little bit toothless up front.
Right, okay then. David Jones on the chat, who's the Bolton fan, said Bolton battered Sunderland at our place. Let's be honest, they're going to get the job done properly on Saturday. We won 1-0. I can't remember how we did against Bolton, to be honest. Terry, clean sheet, is that down to our defence, or was it Portsmouth being poor up front?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, like Jack was saying. I mean, Portsmouth are not very good. They've sold the striker Marquez, and they didn't look like scoring, to be honest, did they? I mean, they had one or two poor shots on target. Hoffman never really under any pressure whatsoever. But when you got like a leader in defence, organising the defence like he did, Bart. So, I mean, I said, so it's a bit of both. I want to give a shout out as well to Oliver Younger. Yesterday, played a full 90 minutes for Doncaster, kept a clean sheet, and they beat MK Dons. So well done, Oliver Younger, in his first game at Doncaster.
Did you see that? Did you see it though, where he the goalie was behind Oliver Younger, and obviously shouted for it. So Oliver Younger left it, ducked, it went over him, and then I think the goalie sort of mistimed it. It was nearly a goal, and it would have looked like it was Oliver Younger's fault, but obviously the goalie called for it to leave it. And but yeah, like I said, it was hopefully they're not, because they've had a little good run of football last couple of games. Doncaster have done all right, so I hope they're not going to hit form just in time for us playing them as well.
I think Bolton have hit form, though, haven't they? Bolton have hit form the last couple of games they've won as well.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, David Jones, it's only Bolton. Dino, clean sheet yesterday. What's the matter? Clean sheet yesterday. Was that down to our brilliant defence, or was it down to Portsmouth's attacking?
I mean, when you're talking about defence, are you just talking about the back three here?
Well, clean sheet overall. I mean, is this down? Did we do well keeping it out, or was it just the fact? See, for me personally, I thought if we'd have played, I thought they were absolutely terrible. And I don't even think Hoffman had anything to do, sort of like all game, right? And if they got the crosses were going everywhere and whatever, they were getting sort of to our box, but then did nothing. So is our clean sheet down to them being so terrible up front, or do we take more credit for that?
Like Terry said, probably a bit of both. I think as a defensive unit, I mean, you defend as a team. I mean, Ross Stewart gets back there, puts in tackles in his own half. I mean, Giorgio was up and down, running around everywhere. So it was like more of a team effort. It wasn't like any particular one player. I mean, I did think Circle in the first half looked way off it. I thought he was getting skinned by Harness at plenty of times. But for me, Portsmouth's main players didn't really turn up. I mean, Curtis didn't really turn up. He got subbed off and he was fuming about it because he apparently barged into their assistant manager. Harness is probably their best player. Apart from a couple of nice touches he had, he didn't really do a lot. So when your main players haven't turned up, it makes it a lot harder, because Harness on his day is probably one of the better players in this league. And I mean, even on our end, I mean, none of our big players really stood up. It was just we forced them into a mistake to get that goal. So it's kind of a 50-50. But I think for the first time, they actually out-battled Portsmouth. Normally, like when we played them down there, we got out-battled when we got beat 5-0. I know the conditions didn't help, but we did get out-battled. We got a bit bullied. But I thought we bullied them a little bit yesterday. I really did. I thought we pressed them that well. We forced them into a mistake, got the goal, and then bullied them for the rest of the game. Sunderland, when they come... But I think Portsmouth are a better passing team than us. I do. But... You can pass it around the back four, around the midfield. But if you're not going to do anything with it, what's the point in passing the ball? We just force them into mistakes. So yeah, it's probably 50-50, bit of both.
All right, okay. Just very quickly, I want to give a shout out to Marianne and Carl Taylor, our friends over in Boston, Massachusetts. They've just donated $5 via the super chat. Can we have a round of applause for Marianne and Carl? They say, "Hi guys, we played okay." Just gone off my screen there. We played okay for the first 25 minutes. Very comfortable. Gooch, man of the match. Bart, done good too. See, this, I don't know what it is about yesterday's game. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention or whatever. But again, in the fan camps, people were saying certain things and, people were praising Hoffman and stuff. I thought Hoffman had nothing to do. Marianne and Carl there saying Gooch, man of the match. I didn't think Gooch was that good as well. I just don't think I paid attention to the game.
Was Gooch playing yesterday?
What do you mean? Was Gooch playing yesterday?
Was he playing? I never knew he was playing yesterday.
Just honestly, I just didn't. I mustn't have watched the game because everybody's saying these different things, and I just didn't see it myself. Also, before we move on, Mick Griffiths in the chat says, "Big well done to Super Kev on his first victory for South Shields." They won 2-1, obviously, down at Warrington, so well done to them. Terry?
Okay then, Phil, so what did you see yesterday? What did you see?
Well, I'm going to get on to that.
Go on then, you tell me how the game went. What did you see? What was your opinion?
No, I didn't see the game. That's why I'm going to tell you. No, I did see the game. No, I did see. No, we had an incident. Which I'm gonna
Did you wee yourself?
Oh, Terry, man, just behave yourself, right?
Well, you had an incident? I don't know what you meant.
Yeah, an incident, not an accident. Right. Just very quickly as well, we had Tom on from 4-0 written all over it on our Thursday show. And a few of us met up with him and did an interview. Andrew came up on stage and did dance off with Dave the Rave at the Wheat Sheaf and all that. But on Tom's vlog, he's chatting to one of his mates on there, and they're saying that he said Sunderland have got no chance. This is Tom's mate. Sunderland have got no chance of going up because from what they've seen, Wigan and Rotherham are a far better side than what Sunderland are. Is it fair to say that? I mean, I think we know we were pretty poor yesterday, but we are better than that. Dino, do you think that's a fair comment for him to make?
Well, it depends. It depends if he's got an agenda against our team or what. I mean, just because you're the best, just because you've got the best team in the league, doesn't mean you're going to be the most consistent. I mean, look at Leicester when they won the Prem that season. Them were just the most consistent team. On paper, them didn't have the best team in that league. The year before, they nearly got relegated. Then when the Prem, then the next season. So just because you have the better players, you've just got to be the most consistent. At the minute, it's our consistency what's costing us. Whereas Rotherham's consistency isn't. But it doesn't mean they're a better team. Haven't we beat Rotherham this season? Or have we not? We haven't beat Rotherham this season.
5-1 off them, didn't we? So
I didn't know if I'd played them twice. So what team have we beat? I mean, we beat Wigan. We beat Wigan twice, and they're higher than us. So it's about being the most consistent. Where they might not have a better squad than we, but they're more consistent than us. So I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
I mean, I understand what he was saying. If he's judging it on what he's just seen there, then I get that, because we didn't look very good yesterday, in my opinion. Terry, is it a fair comment for him to say that?
Well, it's a fair comment because it's his opinion. He's probably seen all three teams play this season against his team. So I think personally, we are third best at this moment in time, but it's not out of all possibilities that we cannot get promoted. Yes, we've still got a chance of being promoted, simple as. We go to Rotherham, we win. We go to Wigan, we win. And we go on a good unbeaten run, or a good winning run, a constant winning run. We haven't gone on a constant winning run. Now, this could be the time where we go on a constant winning run. If we do that, we've got every chance of getting promoted. But at this moment in time, for me, we are only third best, but that could change.
Right, fair enough. Jack, your thoughts on that? Is it a fair comment him to say that?
Yeah, I think Wigan and Rotherham are a little bit stronger than us. I think realistically, in terms of if you're looking at those three teams, Sunderland, Wigan and Rotherham, I think you probably make us the outsiders. I think Wigan look like they're going all guns blazing, aren't they, to try and push the lead at the top. They've got those games in hand. I know some people are saying it doesn't count until you win them, but I fancy Wigan against most teams in this league. I think it might be a case of when Wigan do play those games in hand, we'll have to just realise that, you know, they're going to go up and it's basically between us and Rotherham and maybe possibly Wickham. And if we can finish above those two teams, either of those two teams, and chances are we might sneak second. But I think at the minute, because we've been a bit, you know, like you say, hit and miss, as Terry's touched on, inconsistent, Dean's mentioned it as well, inconsistent, I'd say you have to make us outsiders. But it's not like we're miles away. You know, I think if we can, you know, grind wins out like we did yesterday, and you know, if we'd held on at Accrington and things like that, you know, if we can win the tight games, we'll give ourselves a great chance. And we did that yesterday, so maybe we've turned the corner.
Right, okay. Just very quickly again, we've got 96 likes. So if 4 more people just hit that thumbs up, that'd be great for us. 242 people on the stream at the moment. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's free to subscribe. If you're watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat on, just close the live chat. You'll see the thumbs up there. Smash that and hit the subscribe button as well. Right, a couple of things I want to mention now about the Jermaine Defoe debacle, if you like, or whatever we want to call it. I've got a section here where I want to talk about the sports writers, but before I do that, go on, Terry.
I want to know what the incident was first.
I'm going to get on with it. Doesn't matter. It's not a big incident. It's just something.
I just want to know what your opinion on the game was. Ask your opinion of the game.
All right. First half I thought was absolutely dreadful. Second half was slightly better. I think would have been turned over big time if Pompey could have been better in the box. I thought they came at us straight away. The first 20 minutes, in fact, first 30 minutes, they were just there to just try and sort of bully us, and I think they did. And I thought was absolutely nowhere in the first half. Second half, slightly better, and I just think that our win, our 1-0 win, is purely down to the fact that they didn't do a job on us because they weren't very good at all. So
who was the better place for Sunderland then?
The better place for Sunderland? Me. I thought Stewart worked hard, as he normally does, and that's probably who I would have given man of the match to. But I don't think anybody sort of like stood out head and shoulders, to be honest. So will that do for you, Shiva?
That's better. Yes, thank you, Phil. That's all I was asking for.
That's not a problem. Okay. Sorry, sir. Feel like I've been told off. Right, yeah, I was going to go on about the Northeast sports writers. Before I do, I want to give a shout out to DJ Sizzler Watson, who's donated £3 via a super sticker. Round of applause for DJ Sizzler. Thank you very much. Don't forget, of course, you can help the channel out by donating via the super chat or super stickers. It does help. It does cost money to run this channel, and it's all gratefully accepted. There is a $sign at the bottom of the live chat if you'd like to donate, and there's a slider there. You can pick the amount you'd like to donate to us, and as we said, it's all gratefully accepted and appreciated. Right, we're going to get on to the different sports writers. However, in the last, it was around about tea time, Gemma Lowry, Bradley's mother, a tweet appeared on her board or whatever it's called, basically saying that if Jermaine Defoe doesn't come to Sunderland and goes to another League One team, then we know who is to blame. So that was what went out there. And then the tweet was deleted. And then a little bit later on, she then put another tweet out saying that apologies for that tweet. It wasn't her that did it, but it has come from her account. So I don't know what you can read into that. I just wanted to sort of highlight that as an incident that's happened sort of like in the last couple of hours. But what I wanted to say was Northeast Sports Writers. A few days ago, Scott Wilson, sports writer for the Northern Echo, put out exclusive. Lee Johnson's reluctance is why Sunderland have not re-signed Jermaine Defoe. Sunderland board have been given the green light to deal. Defoe would prefer a Sunderland move. Johnson understood to have reservations over Defoe's squad role and match fitness. Is he stirring the pot by doing that? Because we've since had Phil Smith, who writes for the Echo, has since put out that Lee Johnson is working very hard to sign Jermaine Defoe. Don't confuse being thorough for being not interested. Scott Wilson stirring the pot then. Dino, what do you think?
I mean, journalists have to make up stories just to make themselves relevant. I mean, even if there's not a story in there, you've got to try and make one just so people read you and you get likes and clickbaits and all this stuff. I mean, hasn't Defoe already been on TalkSport saying that there is interest from Sunderland? I don't think he would have said that if there wasn't interest, so clearly there is interest. But it needs to make sense for both. It needs to make sense for both teams. Do we play to Defoe's style? I would say no. Does Defoe get over Ross Stewart? I would say no. Unless Defoe's willing to sit on the bench and come on as a 20-minute cameos or whatever. I mean, don't get us wrong. I'd love to have him back. But if I don't sign him, it's not the end of the world. He's 39 years old. I don't think he's played a lot of football, and like, it's just one of them things that you can. People will love him back. If we don't get him back, it won't be the end of the world. But people will point the finger at Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson's for blah blah blah. But you don't know what Defoe's asking for. I mean, I don't think Defoe would really want to come to. He might want to come to Sunderland, but he might not want to come for playing to play a part-time role and for like $1,000 a week or how much we would offer him, because I do believe Defoe still thinks he could do a job in the Premier League. I really do. But if we don't get him, not the end of the world. If we do, great. But I'm not going to turn on the board or the Johnson if we don't get him.
Right. Okay, then. Terry, your thoughts on it? Do you think he's just sort of like stirring it up a bit?
Probably, because he says the board's given the green light to go ahead to get Defoe. I mean, where does he get the information from? When does KLD actually give any of this information out to anybody? Because nobody expected Danny Bart to turn in and walk through the door until we heard about it basically the same day. So, as we say with Patrick Roberts, it takes a couple of weeks to get players through the door, to get the right terms and conditions and everything. And, you know, it's like I said, like Dino says, does Defoe actually play to the way Johnson wants to play football? Who is he going to replace if he comes on? Do we drop Embleton? Do we change the system to 4-4-2? As he brought Bart in, thinking Bart and Doyle can go to a flat back four, play those two as centre backs, because in the past we haven't been able to play a flat back four because they're not good enough for three centre backs. So to go 4-4-2, you've got to go flat back four. So, or you can do obviously like there's a 3-5-2 or something, another system as well you can play. But like I say, there's all those things to take into account. And the Northern Echo, is the Northern Echo reliable? Is it is anybody really a reliable source? I mean, the only reliable sources you've got is KLD and probably Lee Johnson, and they're going to say anything until the deal's done. I mean, the body language from Lee Johnson in his interview last week was, for me, that he wasn't bothered. He wasn't really interested in Defoe coming, but he's at the same time, he's not going to go out and say, I want Defoe, so he's going to keep it to himself and keep things a bit hush-hush. So we'll have to just wait and see, watch the space. I mean, if he comes, like I say, we could get another 5,000 people coming through the door by the end of the season. He'll sell shirts. He'll make a lot of money for the club, but just depends how much money we're going to spend on getting Defoe in. So it depends. It's going to be right for all parties. And at the end of the day, I wish Defoe all the best, regardless what happens. It'll be no sour grapes if he goes somewhere else.
Well, we was talking about it at the match, and the atmosphere was a bit flat. I mean, we're fairly close to the Pompey fans where we sit, and they were making lots of noise, and we couldn't help. We said it a few times. Said, imagine if we signed Defoe, and then the next game he came in, the lift it would give the club. I mean, we had them all singing the Defoe song in the Week Chief and stuff like that, and that alone, must be worth something. I mean, it would a massive, for the club. It would just lift the crowd, Terry.
I mean, if he wanted to come to Sunderland, it'd be a fantastic to come on after 60 minutes, 70 minutes at impact player. I think it would be great. But from the start, does Lee Johnson is he going to change what he's doing, the system that he's playing, to get Defoe in, to start Defoe? That's down to Lee Johnson, isn't it?
Right. David Miller on the chat says Defoe would terrify League One centre-back planks.
There's no doubt about it. I think it'd be fantastic in League One.
And he's saying, how old's that Akinfen? Well, Akinfen was 39 as well. So,
Akinfen was a totally different build. He's tall, he's bulky and strong. Defoe's main attributes as being nimble and quick. Has he lost that yard of pace?
Akinfen as well doesn't start matches. He comes off the bench, doesn't he?
Well, he started yesterday.
Does he start yesterday? Did he?
Yeah. Jack, you was one in there, and we'll chuck the question to you anyway. Scott Wilson for the Northern Echo is stirring the pot, is he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how closely to the ground Northern Echo have with Sunderland anyway. I don't really recall Northern Echo ever really breaking any major Sunderland stories. I think it's more of a County Durham Teesside paper, isn't it, really, the Northern Echo? I mean, I don't really think it's got much weight with Sunderland AFC. But I think just really the overall issue with Defoe, I think Lee Johnson might be looking at it thinking, I've got a core of young players now that are all kind of singing from the same hymn sheet. Now, Jermaine Defoe might come in, he might be very, very popular and might hit what he's saying might kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, disrupt or alter the message that I'm giving to the players, because Defoe's so respected, almost the same age as Lee Johnson. Do you know what I mean? He might be worried about how that will affect the actual, the team talk, and it shouldn't be, because obviously Lee Johnson should be looking at it from a Sunderland perspective, thinking what's going to give us the best chance to get promotion. And I think obviously bringing Jermaine Defoe in on the right deal, with the right money, the right length of contract, excellent signing. But I just think Lee Johnson might have one or two reservations over it in terms of how much when he's giving messages to the team and the tactics and team talk and things like that. Will Jermaine Defoe being there kind of alter the way they're thinking, and will it alter and disrupt the harmony within the team? I think that might come into it as well. But I think overall, Defoe, I think he still looks sharp, he still looks fit. Even if it's 3 or 4 months towards the end of the season on the right day, I think it would be an excellent signing. I think you'd get a few thousand on the gate, you would lift everyone. But I think I understand where Lee Johnson's coming from in terms of how much difference it's going to make to the squad as a whole. But I think really the positives outweigh the negatives with a move like that, and I think we should be working heaven and earth to try and get it done.
All right, Terry.
Yeah, if it was a thing of like personalities, where Lee Johnson's worried about Defoe coming in and sort of taking over the changing room, here's a question to Phil. Phil, who would you rather have at the club, Jermaine Defoe or Lee Johnson?
Jermaine Defoe is the best finisher I've ever seen play for Sunderland. That includes Kevin Phillips, the lot. When I've watched Defoe play, I think he was... he got the ball, and every time you just thought he's going to score. And like that for me. So I hold him in very high regard. Thing is Defoe's not a manager. I'd love to see Defoe come here, but we need a manager. If you're saying to me, would I rather Defoe come in and manage the club instead of Lee Johnson, then no, because Defoe's not been in management as yet. So I don't understand.
Just basically, if like Lee Johnson's thinking, I don't really want Defoe to come to the club because it's going to upset the apple cart. But so if the club wants Defoe to come, then I'm going to walk away. And
we get another manager, and then get Defoe. No, I think we've got we're on track here. We're looking good where we're at. I think to upset it now, I'd rather, and I'd love Defoe to come to Sunderland. I'd rather Defoe not come if it's going to upset everything we've got. And I sort of get what Jack's saying. You know, we've got all young kids, and there's Lee Johnson, you know, can say, this is what we're doing, this, that, and the other. And Defoe comes in with his experience and his age and, you know, could possibly question what he's saying because he could back it up because he's got, you know, he's got that wisdom of all those years in the game as well. So tricky one, but I do think rather than, you know, I'd rather sacrifice Defoe than mess what we've got now, because I think we're on track. You know, we're as closer than we've ever been since we've been in League One. One more thing then, just very quickly, because people were chucking it in the chat anyway about Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo being a mag. Now, Scott Wilson on his bio says, Chief Sports Writer, the Northern Echo, focusing on coverage of Newcastle United, Middlesbrough and Sunderland. All right. All thoughts and comments my own, right? So he's covering all those three Northeast teams, right? But his cover photograph on his Twitter page is Newcastle United crowd and stuff like that. Now, if you're going to be a journalist for a Northeast things, you know, should he be using a cover photo like that? Should he not have just done something generic? And, you know, so he brings it on himself. So people saying, well, him saying that he's stirring the pot. Should he use a generic photo, Dino?
Can do what he wants. I mean, I didn't listen to journalists anyway. I don't read interviews or out like that. I just see what comes out from the club. I mean, there's that many clickbait. There's that many clickbaits. I mean, let's be fair, Philly. How many people would have retweeted that and put on, he's a mag, and he gets loads of retweets and loads of likes and loads of comments, and it makes his profile better. He's probably just a clickbait merchant, like most of the journalists these days, so I wouldn't listen to it.
I think it weakens his argument when he's trying to do stuff, if he's got things like that. And Terry, your thoughts on that? Him having a Newcastle...
well, if it's for his job, it should be. If it's for his job, it should be generic. But I mean, end of the day, I only really take notice of the Sunderland Echo, and I sort of forget everything else. I don't even get involved in any other paper. I just click on the Sunderland Echo, see what the latest news is.
Jack?
But do people really pay that much attention to the regional newspapers these much any days? Because I don't know what the other lads, what Dino and Terry think, but I get most of my kind of information from other sources. You know what I mean? You tend to find like local, you know, fanzine, things like that, you know, and they're the ones that sometimes have the sources. I don't think there's that much of a coverage in newspaper journalism now for local. I mean, I can't recall many, you know, much breaking within the local press at the minute.
Well, yeah. So I get what you're saying there. For me, there's not a problem with him being a Newcastle fan, Sunderland fan, Middlesbrough fan, or whatever. But I think if you want a little bit of credibility about stuff you're writing about these other clubs, I don't think you're helping your cause by sort of nailing your colours to the post. There's a lot of people in journalism, in media, you know, won't actually say where their alliances are purely because of that, because they want to... Yes, Terry?
I just feel like I want to support the local paper then, Sunderland, which is the Sunderland Echo. So I always end up going towards the Sunderland Echo for whatever reason. That's just what I do.
Right, okay. Right, we've got just over 10 minutes left, and we've still got this. We've got this draw to do. We've got the names in the hat here. We've got the Bolton tickets there. There they all are. The bus is ordered. So we are going to do that shortly. I just want to talk about this this incident we had at the game yesterday. We were sat, and I was sitting next to my mate, and his opinion is totally different to mine, and it's all about respecting people's opinions, right? He's a Lee Johnson out, right? And you'd all know my thoughts on it and all this. And he was complaining, and the football was rubbish and stuff like that. And he was on about, we're going to go and run away with this. And I'm giving it the, oh man, you know, the pressure of winning the game. We're doing all this, right? And the guy in front of us, there's people sit in front of us, right? And because he was slagging the team off and whatever, The guy turns around and he says, well, why don't you go and support Wigan then if you're always moaning about them and stuff like that, right? Now, that's my mate's opinion, right? What would you do? I'd like to know what you would do in that situation. If somebody's behind you whinging about something and their opinion is different to yours, would you just sit there and listen to it and just ignore it? Or would you turn around like this guy has done and sort of chuck his two pence into a conversation which wasn't included in? Terry?
I normally just concentrate on the game and just have a laugh if someone's spouting off. I just have a little sniggle to myself. I just try to win seeing my mates and ignore everybody else, to be honest.
Well, this is it. I mean, you get some right characters in the crowd and you hear all sorts, don't you? And I've had loads of people. I don't think I would ever turn around and say, are you having a laugh or whatever? People entitled to their opinions.
If someone directly talks to me, then I'll talk to them back. If someone tells me something, I'll say something back. But if they're having a conversation to themselves, unless they involve me, I'll let them get on with it.
It's just now. I mean, we're sat here all season, you know what I mean? And it's going to now create a bit of an atmosphere, which it did for the rest of the game. We were like, taking the mickey a bit and what have you. Dino, what would you do in that situation? Could you think you would challenge it?
No, because I've seen situations in the crowd where people have full-on arguments and fights in the crowd because they have a different opinion. I mean, it just depends on your mentality. I mean, for me personally, I would just ignore it or I would move to a different seat. I've been at games where there's been two lads behind us. Oh, we're shit. Oh, he should be closing him down and stuff like that. And I'm like, who are you? You're sitting in the crowds. Like these people, half these fans think they're like proper manager, then will do a better job and stuff like that. I mean, have your opinion all you want, fair enough, but to have an argument about a difference of opinion, I think is quite stupid, especially if it's not aimed towards you. If me and you are having a disagreement, Philly, that's fair enough. We're mates, we know each other, but to do it to a random who you don't know, you just don't like what you're saying, so you're turning around and saying, oh, go and support him. It's actually quite ridiculous. And I know we all want the same thing. We all want to get promoted. We all want this, that, and the other. But why do we think that we're so much better than everyone else? That we should be first all the time? Have you seen how the club's been running the last couple of years, man?
Well, yeah, it's not even about that. It's about the opinion. I mean, I found myself right. Obviously, the bloke agrees with me, right? But I found myself not arguing with the guy, but saying, hang on a sec, he pays for his ticket to come to the game. He can say whatever he wants. He's got that, he's entitled to say whatever he wants. So I'm finding myself sort of defending me mate to this guy who I've got probably the same opinion as. He's obviously a Lee Johnson fan and what have you. But Jack, what would you do in that situation? Do you think you would challenge it?
Nah, no, not really. I mean, you hear all sorts at the game. Sometimes I think, I don't know how much of a part alcohol plays. If people have had a bit too much, they tend to go over the top a little bit and react. I think it's just a passion with our fan base. We're a very passionate area in the North East. We love our football, but I think sometimes it can boil over a little bit too much. I agree with Dean. I've seen people swinging for each other and arguing with each other, and it's horrible and it's not nice to watch when it's near you. But it's just because, like you say, we're a big crowd and we're passionate area. We love football, but it can boil over sometimes. And with drinking, other things, people take it too far. I think in that scenario, I'd probably, the only time I've really challenged anything in the crowd is, from one of the fans, is if it's been something like towards of a racist element, or sometimes I've spoken up in that, because obviously that's, wrong in any scenario. But if it's just a difference of opinion and things like that, like Terry says, I think sometimes you just need to take it for what it is, just a daft comment in the crowd and just try and ignore it. And it's difficult when it's going on around you, though, I must admit.
Yeah, it's like I said, the thing is, not only has it, I mean, it's now, for the rest of the season, they're sat there and it's there's going to be a bit of niggle and it's just, me personally, I don't know if I thought he was wrong to do it. For one, the conversation wasn't about him. It didn't involve him. This was between me and my mate, And yeah, my mate likes to mouth off and what have you, and have his opinion. But so what? He's entitled to that opinion. So so we did have a bit of an incident there, which was And I don't know if that's why we spent most of the game then sort of like with that. And I don't know if that's why I've missed certain things.
It kind of ruins the day, doesn't it, really, to be fair?
Well, it's just, I mean, not only for, for us, but for them as well. They're going to have to now come to the game, and it's like, and like I said, I mean, he obviously, these guys in front obviously think the same way I do, because they were disagreeing with my mates, who's totally different to what I think. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get Karen to come up, and we'll do the draw for this. In a
bikini.
Do you want her in a bikini? Would you like her in a bikini? And we've got these are the people who are in there for it.
Can Colin pick it out?
What?
Can Colin pick it out?
We've talked about that. We said we'll bring Colin up, and we said we could get Colin to put his head in and pull one out. But we're not certain that he wouldn't eat it. He might actually eat it, but we'll see. We'll get her to. She'll come up just now. And what was happening here is, like I said, we've got him in the hat. And Terry was referring to Tony Lee, who's in there, who has actually been my pal for the best part of 30 years. And so he was trying to stir the shit a bit, because if Tony's name comes out, you're going to say, oh, it was fixed. And there is no way in the world we would fix this at all. If Tony's name comes out of here, it's purely potluck, and that's why we are doing it live on here now.
Good luck, everybody.
All right, yeah. A trip to Bolton. This is Colin. I don't know if you would pick. Would you pick one out of there, Colin? Colin, can you get one of those? Don't you put your hands in. People say you're grabbing Tony Lee's name.
Show us the hat, Frills. Show us the hat. Show us the numbers in the hat, so they kind of complain.
There they are.
Kind of seen out.
There we go. One's fell out.
What number's Coventry City?
Oh, yeah, we don't want them. Right. Yes, I've got it. God, honestly, man. What?
You're supposed to be on a diet.
Who's put that there? Who's eating that? Right, you'll have to do it, Kaza. Just draw one out. Right. Shut your eyes. Come down here, then they can see your eyes.
You're not going the big screen. We're not going the big screen.
Oh, Christ almighty. Hang on. Jesus, Terry, hang on. Wait on. Where are we at?
What's he doing, Colin? What is he doing?
He'll be in one of the mics, man. Hang on. Let's do this. Right. That one there.
Right then.
Wait,
that's better.
Right. Pull one out. Right. This is for a place on the bus and a ticket to the match.
I've just got one there.
You've just got one there. I hope you just got one. I think you have. Oh, it's not Tony Lee.
Oh, poor Tony.
The winner is Alan Rowland. It is there. So, and all the names are in there. I don't know who this would probably have been Tony Lee.
Who would have been second place? See who would have been second place?
It would have been Tony Lee.
Right, so if Alan can't make it,
it would have been Tony Lee. All right.
If Alan can't make it, then Tony's a reserve.
Yeah. Right. So, Alan Rowland. Can we have a round of applause for Alan? Let's get these back on here. So there you go. As pulled out, Alan Rowland. Well done to you. We'll contact you with all the details of that. You're coming to Bolton with us. You're coming on the bus. We're going to bring you back. We've got your ticket here as well for the game. You'll have to put up with Terry singing. If you don't want to go in a crowded pub, you'll have to stay on the bus with Terry and drink a can, apparently. So that's it. And I don't know where Tony Lee's name's gone. There, it's there. And second reserve then, Tony Lee. There you go.
Or first reserve.
Or first reserve, or whatever you want then. So that's the draw. Well done to Alan Rowland for entering that. We'll get the details to you, and you can join us on the bus. We are going to when we travel down on Saturday, we are going to do a live stream on the way down on the bus, so we'll all be on there. So if you want to tune into that, that'll probably be around about 10:30, quarter to 11, maybe like that. We'll go live I think. And so tune in for that. We'll be doing the fan cams outside the ground, interviewing the fans as well. And probably when we're drunk, doing something on the way back as well. Terry will be singing for us, won't you, Terry?
Probably
in some state. I think that's it. We're just about out of time there. Right, we're going to be back on Thursday. Yes, Terry.
I'm only singing if we've won.
All right, okay. Well, you'll be singing on the way back then. A couple of little questions we didn't get to. We'll carry those over anyway to Thursday when we will look ahead to the Bolton game. We shall do so. Thanks for joining us tonight, lads. You've been absolutely superb. Dino, would you like to say bye to the lovely boys and girls?
Goodbye, boys and girls.
Bye, girls. Terry, keeping you up there. Terry, just say bye to everybody.
See ya.
There. And Jack, say good night.
See you later, lads and lasses.
There you go. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you again on Thursday. And well done, Alan Rowland. We'll see you on Saturday. See you. Bye-bye.